Hello, class. Turns out the day I decided to record this audio finally is the day I get sick. My throat is like the dry desert. So, for the remainder of this video, if my voice begins to deteriorate, now you know why. Wish me luck. Graphic design is a very competitive space where you gotta stand out from the rest to be successful. At least, that's what I think anyways. As a very serious graphic design student, I've always wanted to know, how can we find our own style so we don't blend in with the rest of the graphic design market, possibly leading to a failure in a career we dreamed of for ages, which will then proceed to our new job and counting so many numbers in an office your brain will explode? By looking at other artists' work and figuring out how they stand out. Disclaimer, I'm in no way endorsing copying styles and work off of other people. That's immorally bad for reasons I won't dive into here, because that's not what I'm being graded for at the moment, so don't even think about it. So with project numero 5, that's exactly what I plan to do today, because I'm required to. Abimael Rodríguez is a graphic designer born and raised in the teeny-weeny island of Puerto Rico. He studied graphic design and got a bachelor's degree at Atlantic University College in Guaynabo, Puerto Rico. Go Gladiators! He still works in Puerto Rico, specifically San Juan, doing jobs for different companies and events such as Legacy, We Are Evolution, KFC, IMF, and Authority. Although he's done his great share of personal projects and illustrations, which we touch on in a bit, no worries. One of the things that most stood out to me about Abimael Rodríguez is that he incorporates gorgeous and colorful 3D illustrations into most of his personal projects, which he then displays in different exhibits in Puerto Rico. In an interview with Melody Nieves from Envato Toots, he said, "One of the main things I love about living in Puerto Rico is the great amount of beautiful, colorful things around me. Things like the beaches, the handwritten signs, the architecture, the murals, and, most importantly, the people. Being surrounded by so many beautiful things makes me feel alive and inspired to make more things that, in a way, represent my culture and the way I see these things." He also mentions how different mediums of Puerto Rican art has inspired him throughout his work. So, let's see where we can spot these things as we go throughout his gorgeous work, right? Let's visit his professional work first. He created a design for KFC Puerto Rico's snack box in a contest held by Atlantic University College, in which they were tasked with creating a new look for KFC's snack box. He took into consideration the snack box's target demographic, teenagers, to create a design that he thought would most successfully grab their attention. So he decided to approach the design with a graffiti aesthetic and incorporate emojis to appeal to the teen public. And he won! KFC incorporated his box design to many of their stores in Puerto Rico. Right off the bat, the design incorporates the hierarchy principle. He does so by applying scale to the snack box text, enlarging it, which creates obvious hierarchy against the smaller illustrations. The hierarchy is also achieved with a bit of an anomaly. Making the graffiti text yellow helps it pop up against a red backdrop. The design is also equally balanced, and we see concentration as the design is gathered into the center, but gets sparsed out as we go to the edges. To keep with the graffiti aesthetic, he uses stroke-like lines to simulate the same style of graffiti work you would see on the streets. The next project we'll look at is his work for the Independence Music Festival that took place in Orlando on the 23rd of August in 2014. Abimael was approached by Mansion Events to help create the image of the music festival. For the event, he's created posters, shirts, banners, and wristbands. But for the sake of time, I want to focus on his primary illustration for the festival. Once again, he achieves hierarchy by scaling up the size of the logo in the middle, as well as by creating an anomaly, breaking the mold of the illustrations surrounding it by making the logo abstract shape, contrary to the geometric shapes surrounding the logo. He also achieves hierarchy with the width of the lines of the illustrations. The less important elements of the design are given a more thin, rectangular width. The logo is more thick, with rounded lines. The design is symmetrically balanced in shape and color, with variety in pattern and width. We also see some tension as we get closer to the middle with the circles, dots, and lines. Now that we've looked at a small sample, a small taste of his work, let's look at his personal projects. His personal projects incorporate his 3D illustration skill more and more heavily through these compositions. We'll be taking a look at an art piece from two of his personal collections, 1-1 and Thoughts. Let's begin with 1-1. Abimael claims that his collection 1-1 is simply a gallery of different pieces with different themes, elements, and emotions. I was considering whether or not to include this certain piece in the video, since I thought I would most likely have the same talking points with his work with the Independence Music Festival. But I love this piece to bits and pieces, so let's dissect. Sadly, it doesn't have a specific name, but let's call it Compass for now. Compass mainly consists of geometrical circles. However, the tilted three-dimensional rings create a plane of anomaly in the design, since it's the most noticeable illustration with 3D incorporated into it. Thanks to this, the rings add value and volume to the 2D-looking design. Without it, one could be fooled to think that the illustration is completely two-dimensional. The bright and iridescent colors of the design helps it distinguish itself from the negative dark navy blue space that serves as a background. We have both symmetrical, with the two-dimensional circles, dashes, and eye symbols, and asymmetrical balance achieved with the sun, moon, and arrows. We also have subtle texture with the ripped effect at the edges and subtle creases and scratches, as if we're looking at a sheet of paper. Abimael's collection Thoughts is a project in which he composes 3D sculptures made up of different objects that represent various aspects of his life, friends, relationships, and his home. This piece also doesn't have a name, but let's call it, My Tongue Stepped on a Lego. Owie. My Tongue Stepped on a Lego Owie is completely composed of 3D objects. There are recognizable geometric shapes, such as the Lego pieces on the bottom. However, the other shapes are a combination of geometric with abstract representations of other objects. What exactly they are, I'm not sure of, but I really see tongue here. And Pocky sticks? Please don't take my readings as gospel here. The value in shadows and light of the sculpture add volume to the illustration. The Lego pieces are varied in color and size, and the brown Lego piece serves as an anomaly in contrast to the very bright colors of the various objects of the sculpture. And even though there are no other objects or sculptures throughout the composition, there's a sense of isolation with the sculpture. This is due to the small amount of space the sculpture takes up in the composition, which also offers a disbalance in the piece as the sculpture is shoved to the left side of the composition. Abimael has a lot more to offer with his artwork, and you should definitely take your time to check it out whenever you can. He has a Behance page and his own personal online portfolio, which I will link in the description. I'm not sure how to close this out, so let me try to answer my question in the beginning. How does Abimael stand out? To me, at least, he has a tendency to incorporate original 3D artwork into his designs, which help them pop out more in contrast to other artworks, as well as his stunning color choices. I think bringing in 3D work, even illustrations, can help captivate a bigger audience to your graphic designs. I can definitely say I'm inspired to keep honing a style with my lame illustrations, which I hope won't be so lame in the future as I keep practicing more and more with different kinds of media. So to conclude, illustrations should be incorporated more into graphic design. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Oh, hello there.